So what we run into after 3 years of trying to communicate this idea is a psychological barrier, not a resource barrier or currency barrier. Those happen with any nonprofit. What we're running into is people being able to conceive in their minds that it's possible to address child hunger by 2015. We drop numbers and it just might as well be nuclear bombs that are going off inside their heads. When we say 20.6 million children are hungry, or 1 out of 5, and depending on where you are in the country, 1 out of 4 children are hungry, they just go, how is that possible? We have programs in place. And that's where I think being very knowledgeable about the subject, being the expert or being the person that studies it, backfires, because we have so much data. It's like National Geographic. If you can see that the animal is in trouble, how come the camera crew isn't doing something to help the animal? So if the government can count 20.6 million children being hungry, what is the government doing in order to address that? The response that comes from that, the pundits push back and say that it has to be the community, or it has to be the church groups, or it has to be the nonprofits and the anti-hunger network that addresses child hunger, because it's a parental issue, not taking into consideration that the Great Depression is going on and that this is pretty much man-made, that we spent ourselves into the position that we're in. So we have some of the highest food production on the planet, but 20.6 million children are malnourished. They don't look like they're hungry because they're wearing designer jeans, living in the first world, and they get beat if they say that they're hungry. The reality of what we're dealing with seems to, again, be like a nuclear bomb inside of people's minds. So our current message in moving forward is to try and break down that psychological barrier that it is not possible to address child hunger. It absolutely is. Right now we have everything in place in America to do so. We've got 205 food banks. We've got food pantries, which are usually connected to churches. We've got a school district. We've got the National Breakfast and Lunch Program. The only thing that we need now is the third leg, which we had articulated in March 2010, which are like food, children meal mission type feeding programs that are flowing through our communities in order to be the stopgaps in the system. And that's what we want to focus in on now, is, just getting the idea into people's minds that it's actually possible in 3 years with what we have in place in America to address child hunger.